10864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
He's back out for a three. Left wing is good.
In the air to center, back at the wall. It's out of here.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
Indoor track and field national champion. And for the fourth time in the last 6 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Hey, good Tuesday to everybody tuning in. Tip-Off Tuesday, basketball coaches show coming up this afternoon. Kelly Graves. Well, he was Kelly Graves when he talked with Terry Johns earlier this week. We have that for you coming up. 2:30 to 3:30, you can watch the show on the Oregon basketball social media channels, the GoDucks YouTube, goducks.com/OSN for the local affiliate in your area, 7 o'clock tonight across the sports network on the radio side. And I got the chance to talk with Kevin McKenna following a doozy of a victory for Oregon men's basketball last night. My head's still spinning from Gill Coliseum that spun all the way home. Happy to report we all made it home safe, but it was a doozy of a victory for the Ducks. To be honest with you, it probably should have gone to overtime. Kevin McKenna, I think, agreed. We'll talk about that coming up. But the Ducks did finally win a close game. After losing their first two Pac-12 games on the men's side by a combined 5 points, the Ducks won this one by 2 points. It was nice to win a close one. We've got that for you coming up. Dane Altman's thoughts on the nice win. Also, the national championship last night. Congratulations to Dan Lanning, Oregon football head coach, the Georgia defensive coordinator, won the championship in a game that I will be honest with you, I watched all of 5 minutes of while doing the men's basketball game in Corvallis. So multitasking was hard. And I didn't want to be trying to do two things at once, especially in a close game like that. But one thing that was cool, we got to see Kayvon Thibodeau on the show in conjunction on Fox that they did for the national championship. And KT had it was awesome to see him. I've seen a little bit of what he did. Everybody seemed to love it on the show. And his message that he gave out to the world when he finished up his appearance with Joel Klatt was awesome. We're going to play that for you coming up. And the Pac-12 has also made a statement on college football playoff expansion. You know, we could do an hour every day on different opinions on the college football playoff and expansion. And, well, we're not going to do an hour, but we're going to do quite a bit. But we also have some fun things in store for you. And anytime Lisa Peterson is on the show, we know that it's going to be a good time. Lisa Peterson, Deputy Athletic Director, Senior Women's Administrator, is here with us. It's a new year. Women's basketball, we've got spring sports coming up, and the 50th anniversary of Title IX is upcoming in June of this year. And we're going to talk about that because we have some fun things in store all around that. What's been on your desk lately? How you doing?
Hi, Joey. Happy 2022.
Happy 2022.
We made it.
When do you stop saying Happy New Year to
I
people?
did. I think this is it. That's it.
That was
That's my last one.
That was
it was
the
just
one?
to you and anyone listening, and now I'm done.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Do you have a deadline?
Well, so my birthday is January 19th, and I've always
you go all the way to the 19th.
No, I've always felt like if I hear Happy New Year anywhere close to my birthday, I'm like it's been a while.
Yeah.
You know, it's been too long. That's just always kind of been my my cutoff. I don't know why, but it has been.
No,
so.
I don't disagree with you. I think the first week that everyone's back, which was for us was last week, but I saved it for you because I was waiting specifically to be able to tell you that.
Well, thank you. But
Yes,
really,
you're
by
welcome.
telling me that, you're just telling the audience.
The audience. Yes,
because the audience is what matters. I do not. That is
true statement.
The utmost truth. The truth. That is the truth. So a couple questions coming in on the comments, so we'll get to that coming up in a little while. But I do want to spend a little bit of time talking with Lisa before we take some of your questions, everybody. And it is a new year. I asked you at the end of 2021 to do kind of your year in review.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you for your year in preview.
Oh.
What are we going to see in the next 12 months?
I would love to tell you that we were done with COVID
Yeah.
and these things that we have over our mouth we are done with, but I don't think that we are. I think we're in a pretty challenging time right now, but I also think that the end is a lot closer than what it was in 2021. I think I've said that before too, so I love that you're pounding on wood. No, I'm extremely excited about the year ahead. And first, I just want to say congratulations to Coach Lanning. I don't think that there's ever been as many people in the Pacific Northwest cheering for a Georgia team than there was last night, which was really cool to watch, and it was a really good game too. So, but no, I think that upcoming, I'm just really excited about where we are. Obviously we have all these restrictions, all the things outside of all of that. Like, I'm pumped for our spring teams. I'm pumped for men's, women's basketball, and everybody else that's getting up and going. I think it's going to be a really fun spring. And the good news for us is we still have people that are able to come and watch, which isn't the case with all of our peers. So it's really easy to get caught up in the negative. I always try to find the glass half full and, look at what the positives are. And the positives are that we're playing.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a lot of different things, but we're playing. We're giving, student athletes an experience that it is once in a lifetime. And, whatever the bumps may be, I think it just teaches you for whatever comes next after here. So I'm really looking forward to 2022.
Yeah, I do. I will say I've said this a lot. I mean, I really feel for young people from – my wife's a teacher. Many of you who listen and watch regularly know that. So anybody, who's got a little one all the way up through the college experience, I mean, it's been different the last 2 years. And I really feel for all those young people that have had things that have been lost, and we've all lost things as part of this. However, it does make you realize that working in sports, we get a chance to have some fun, some pretty meaningful things, and we're often an escape for people.
Yes.
And I think that it's important to have those sorts of escapes. There's a reason that so many people like to fill up Matthew Knight Arena and Autzen Stadium and Jane Sanders Stadium and Pepe Field and Hayward Field and PK Park and the Student Tennis Center. And
Impressive. I don't think you missed one.
Boy, I should have gone in order some way.
I said Baker Park.
I said Pepe,
Baker
Park. Of the various golf courses.
There you go. Yes.
know?
Yes. Good work. Good work.
Thank you. Yeah. But this is one of my favorite times of year, Lisa, because you get kind of the excitement of the end of football. You're in the heat of basketball season, and then all of the spring sports are starting practice this week and last.
Yes.
So, like Chelsea Hoffman.
Yes.
Talked with Chelsea Hoffman, Oregon lacrosse head coach, on the show yesterday, and it was like, this is great. Like, all these sports that are ramping up. I do think we're jumping ahead a little bit, but this is kind of an exciting time to look ahead to the spring, which is fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm really concerned about the weather because we've had such an easy spring, for the last couple years. So fingers crossed that helps us out. I know, but like let's just hit it head on and then see how it works.
Can you knock on wood too?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. God, he's so superstitious.
Baseball player.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Did you hang garlic in the dugout?
No, but Peg Reese definitely has all her rules that are in the softball press box.
Okay, I have to tell this story. Peg has these were at Howe Field, okay?
Some of them got transferred.
Yeah, I know. These were at Howe Field. They were like taped up, and the paper had curled from years of being taped up. They've had to be retaped. Like, they were in the Howe Field press box. I won't say them, but various slogans that are near and dear to people superstitious
like you.
folks
I
like
get
me.
it. I get it. I apologize. Are you starting to break out in a rash?
Oh,
or anything?
yes. Like, I'm like
mission
tense
accomplished
right now. So, but Peg transferred these to the Jane Sanders Stadium. The original papers.
She sure did.
Okay.
Gotta love it.
Superstition is
I
fine.
know. Okay, it is.
Now, Mark Wazakowski would tell me, yeah, but it has nothing to do with the outcome of the game. But then he would also say, and
don't talk about a no-hitter.
Waz, please forgive. Exactly. like Waz, please forgive me. But I think that he would agree. Like, no, there is something to be said.
There's definitely something.
Comfort level of an athlete and routine. Superstition is often routine, leads to success because you're in the right mindset.
No, you're exactly right. And I will admit, when I was an athlete, I had my own superstitions. But
wait, I'm sorry. Could you one more time?
Why did I just admit that?
Yeah, one more time. You had
I had
what?
a couple superstitions when I was an athlete.
Are they radio appropriate stories?
Just same gear, let's say, and same like warm up routine because I was a track athlete for those that don't know. So the warm up and Yes, I had my Walkman that had the same music
Do you
every
still
time.
have the same Walkman?
I do, actually.
I love that so much.
And I think that the tape is still in it.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Challenge.
I have to go look for it,
If you
don't
have
I?
it, bring it next time you're on, please.
Oh, wow.
That would be
Okay.
That would be awesome. I bet it is an awesome mixtape.
It is a mixtape.
So
And you're going to be shocked, I think, at the song that I used to listen to every time.
I'm ready.
No, I'm going to, let's see. That's going to be that's the teaser for the next time I'm
Boy,
on.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
All right. Well done.
You got to remind me, but
Okay.
I'm going to go look for it.
Are you scheduled?
I don't know.
Are you
I'm
scheduled out
I'm
yet?
sure I will be after this day.
Yeah. Well, I'll figure that
Okay,
out. But
yes, no.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yes.
So, God, that's great. I had no idea that we'd be 10 minutes in and I have not gotten to anything.
The people that are listening are like, come on, move it on, move it on.
Women's basketball.
Yes. Oh.
Hey, but we have talked about some serious stuff, like COVID, and the
Yes.
women's team
Yes.
is not going to play Thursday. If you missed the news yesterday, because of COVID protocol within the Arizona State program, the
Correct.
Duck women will not play Thursday. Still on track to play Arizona, just a ho-hum national runner-up on Saturday. And then they're going to play a Final Four team from last year in UConn on Monday.
Yes.
Handling the COVID situation, Lisa, I guess just from the 1,000-foot view, where are we at with that? How do you go about it as an administrator right now? What do fans need to know?
Well, I think that the changes that the CDC made, that the NCAA and Pac-12 adopted, is actually really beneficial, especially because the majority of our teams are all vaccinated, so that makes the protocols a lot easier to navigate. It shortens, as long as you're asymptomatic, it shortens the amount of time that you have to be in isolation, whether you're positive or, all of those. So there's a lot of ways that we can actually get back to playing, which is very beneficial. If we were under the old rules, I'm not so sure what this weekend would look like.
The men wouldn't have played last night, for
Definitely
example.
not. Exactly. So I think that, it's positive. I think that, yes, Omicron is spreading like wildfire. I think fortunately for the most part, it's not as severe. People do have symptoms, but I don't think that there's a lot of vaccinated deaths tied to it, which is helpful. I know from a county perspective, Dr. Davidson and I have stopped counting the number of cases, but now you're just monitoring hospital usage, because that's really where the key is. And so from a county perspective, and that we're a county that gets a lot of outside counties come to us, but right now our hospital usage is pretty good. If you were to look at the number of cases, we're breaking records. So I think that the focus has shifted, and we're just trying to manage symptoms and get through the process. So again, the good news for us is our county has been incredible to work with. We are still having fans. There are some things that we've, taken some factors to help mitigate risk a little bit, like with some of the things that we're doing internally. But just excited that we're able to play and obviously wear a face covering.
Yeah,
and we're moving to a lot of outdoor things as well. So that's also helpful because that mitigates a lot of risk.
Hence your comment about the weather.
Yes, exactly.
I knew where you were going.
Okay.
I just,
You helped me get there.
You gotta.
I know. Okay, knock. We're knocking.
Superstitions are important.
Okay.
Superstitions are important.
All right.
With where women's basketball is, though, in their season, too, I'll just put it this way. Coach Graves has been insistent to do everything possible to play every game possible and make up games.
Yes.
I'm a fan of that. I loved the fact that even though it created a shorter week on the men's side this week, that supposed to play Saturday night, ended up playing 48 hours later, the Ducks still were able to play the Beavs. Now, there's obviously inherent challenges, logistics with traveling, getting teams from point A to point B. I get that, but I don't know, just what's your stance there? Like, play as many as possible, right?
Yeah, so I wear the two hats because one is the committee hat and one is, just the administrator hat. Right. And I know that people probably questioned why we played Carroll College when we did, but if you look at it from coach's perspective, that group has not played together since the beginning of practice. If you go, with India and Niara and Tahina back. So you don't want to have your first game be Stanford. It was already challenging enough as it was, the defending national champions at their place, on the road, all those different things. So I understood why he wanted to do it, and we tried to do everything possible to make sure that it happened. When it comes to rescheduling games, the Pac-12 does have a different philosophy this year, which is great from the women's side. So you will see makeup games happening, which I don't think we had any makeup games last year.
We did not.
From a committee perspective, I know that we are going to be reviewing the minimum number of games. I don't think it's going to be 13 like it was last year, but I don't think it's going to be 25 like it currently is. So
really?
Yeah. So I think, yes, if you can play, I mean, that's what student athletes came here to do, right, was to play. And so if there's a way to do that safely, I think that you should be able to do that.
Lisa is on the women's basketball selection committee.
Thank
Reminder
you.
for everybody who is wondering, committee.
Sorry, yes, I apologize.
You're on a lot of committees, aren't you?
I am on a lot of committees.
Yeah, it's just the public one is the selection committee
Yes,
right now.
correct. Yes.
You know, and that's interesting. I mean, you bring up a lot of interesting topics because it is a rapidly changing environment.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I don't even know if I have a question here except just like,
Okay.
how are you handling that? How is the entire industry handling the rapid change that we, you know, because I guess the reason I asked this is we kind of came out of it, we felt like a little bit.
Yep.
Now we're kind of going back in. So I guess you're used to the rapid change. I don't know.
Well, staying flexible, and that's one of the things that we've talked about, you know, within our league too. Is so, for example, when you're doing a makeup game, maybe you were supposed to play at home, but now you're not going to play at home. You're going to play on the road, and you're going to have 3 games that week. Like, understanding what the end goal is and what the priority is, and that's the same with the NCAA basketball committee. Is the goal is to play the tournament, right? And so, what can we do to help be able to do that? Again, safety is always first. So being able to do that. Now, is it all going to be equal? Probably not. Is it all going to feel like level playing field? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, are we getting to the end result?
Right.
And so, yeah, it's just staying flexible. I know our director of operations are really loving it because they're like, wait, where am I going? When? What do I need to do? That kind of thing. But, you know, I think that as an industry, we've learned it doesn't have to be the way it's always been.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get things done even if it looks a little bit different than how you did it before.
We got to sneak a timeout in.
Okay.
When we come back, I want to talk with you about being on the selection committee.
Okay.
Watching a lot of basketball, a big non-conference game for the Ducks, and a little bit of the history and the importance of that. We have a lot more to get to. Lisa Peterson, kind enough to take some time out of her busy schedule. We're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s, like go back to college, learn to skateboard. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. At aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a free 3-minute chat with the friendly digital retirement coach, Avo, and receive personalized tips to help boost your savings. Start chatting with Avo today at aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Okay, I have multiple comments to get to. Lisa Peterson, Deputy Athletic Director, here with. Do you have a 1:30 meeting?
No.
Okay, just making sure. we might go. Now she's gonna check.
I just want to make sure, but no, I'm pretty sure I'm good right now.
Well, so we have our first wager on what is on the Lisa Peterson pregame mixtape from circa, I don't know, I guess you could still be listening to it. It's just not on your Walkman anymore. It's on Spotify or
well,
something.
one, I'm not listening to it, although some people would say I'm stuck in the 90s when it comes to my music.
So am I, and I wasn't even a 90s kid.
Yeah, this would be like 1988, 89, 90.
Okay, so Tobias says $5 says Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch is on Lisa's mixtape.
I'm not going to respond. I haven't listened to it
really
in
have
a
to
really
find
long
it.
time. I'm not saying he wouldn't win the $5, but
okay.
That's not the song that I would listen to right before I competed every time.
Are we allowed to wager on that?
Yeah, there's no NCAA
no
championship.
NCAA championship in
we're
music
golden.
and DJing?
We're golden. Yeah.
I really hope that there's a track list written on the tape. Also, full disclosure, if it is an actual tape,
yeah,
I don't know that Scott and I even have a way to digitize that here in the studio.
So I am going to have to bring the Walkman or
like
something to play it
to
with?
plug into the headphone jack on the Walkman and plug it into our mixer.
I mean, so I don't want to give it all away, but if I can find it, it was the yellow Sport Walkman.
Oh, yes. Those
Do you know
are
what
the
I'm
best.
talking about? Like, half the people listening probably don't know what that is, but the yellow Sport Walkman was what I finally got. That was my senior year. The other ones prior to the senior year was a little rougher. And headphones, do you remember what the headphones used to be like?
On top of your head.
Well, yeah, but they were the really cheap, like,
the plastic
filter. Yes, and the little filter that would go on it that would easily come off, you know? So the Sport one was a big upgrade because I think that may have been the first one that went into your ear.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Okay. So
wow.
Fingers crossed. There's a spot that I think that it is. Wow. Yeah, this is going to be fun.
Really didn't know that we'd get here.
Well, here we are, Joey. It's
I'm
always
glad,
entertaining.
as an audio nerd, though, I'm really enjoying this. You're talking about different headphone technologies and how much it's changed in 40 years.
Yeah, I'm just showing my age.
Like,
That's
this
what you're
great.
enjoying.
No, I'm enjoying. Hey, I'm the one that has a record player at my house. Love it.
Okay, I don't.
Absolutely
so
love
you win. I do have a VHS.
So do I.
VCR,
I still have a VCR.
Though. Okay.
Yeah, I really learned my age when my sister-in-law tried to put a VHS tape in a VCR the wrong way.
Oh.
And I went,
yeah.
What?
There you go.
Anyway, we all have those moments, though,
We do,
right?
100%.
We all have those moments. Tobias, I also saw your other question about apps and where to tune in. I got that for you coming up in a little bit. Steven says he had the yellow Sport FM Walkman.
That's big time, Steven.
Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah, I don't know
that
that I'm not sure
stuff.
I've got that. Yeah, that's pretty high tech, Steven.
You know, it's a real shame that like the iPod overtook the Walkman. Because it was always because certain people would say it like Walkman or it was the Walkman. You know, like there was a divide there on how you said it. But like, how did Sony not keep that as a thing,
right?
And modernize it? I mean, is there a Sony Walkman phone now? There's
Holy
gotta
cow.
be. Anyway,
you're
Duck
digressing.
Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. It's a big game for Oregon women's basketball as we continue to talk pregame mixtapes with Lisa Peterson. You realize now that I'm going down to Rachel's office.
And you're going to see how you can digitize
And I'm going to ask, hey,
cassette.
Can we do a pregame mixtape that is all Lisa Peterson's music?
She's going to say 100% no. Although I don't know that there's going to be any swear words in it. Because I don't think back then you could, right?
You had to buy the explicit
labeled
on
and I don't
them.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, because so everybody knows, that's actually like a huge thing in our realm. Like we have to find the clean version of every song to play in venue.
Yes.
Rachel, if you're tuning in,
we'll be there.
Yeah, we're gonna have a conversation. This would be pretty funny. Big non-conference game on Monday for Oregon women's basketball. So UConn is in town. Of course, this has been years in the making. And there's a little bit of a backstory that I was hoping you could share. We've talked about it with Coach Graves a little bit, but just the importance, Lisa, too, of playing a game like this. And it's odd timing, but it's a really cool event on Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Absolutely. So I think that we first started talking about this back in 2017, maybe. It's definitely been a while, and all the players that, certainly with our league that we had talked about it with, are gone. So that tells you it's been a while. And actually I had to pull up the contract the other day, and I think it got signed in 2018. But anytime that you can play a non-conference game like this, especially with a program as storied as Connecticut, I mean, in the last 10 years, you can't find a program that has had more success. And I will tell you, one of the best moments, during our Big Three thing was when we went to Connecticut and beat them on their home court. I mean, that was pretty special.
Not just beat them.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But, like, it's kind of crazy right now because, yes, Connecticut's ranked and higher, but they're also dealing with some of the stuff that we've been dealing with the injuries. And I'm pretty sure Paige is not going to be back for our game, and they've had a couple other injuries. And so, but playing a game like this, just what it means when you're trying to not only make the NCAA tournament, which is not obviously that's one of our goals, but it, where you get seeded and all that, and being able to do that, and at this time of the year, which is hard to do because you're in your conference schedule. It's hard to schedule these non-conference games, at this time. But Connecticut's been great to work with, and the good thing is Kelly will play anybody, but so will Gino. I mean, you can see that by the non-conference schedule that Gino has. So I'm really excited about it, and really glad that they can make the trip out here.
It's 2:00 on Monday at Matthew Knight Arena. So obviously that means no Duck Insider because I'll be at Matthew Knight Arena.
Yes, which was where everybody should be.
Yeah, it's a great way to 3-day weekend for a lot of people. It's an awesome celebration of the sport, and it's on ESPN2. It's a big national audience. It's an event, right?
Yes.
Like we've seen more and more, I think, around sports and in life in general. The event is such a cool aspect. The event also, though, I'd imagine helps out for people that are on selection committees because you get more head-to-heads.
Absolutely.
Which is absolutely cool.
Yes.
Which brings me to my biggest question of the day for you, potentially. You're on the women's basketball selection committee.
Yes.
How many hours of basketball do you watch on an average day? And I know, not every day there's basketball.
Right.
Almost every day.
Well, so I saw this question, because you give me a little bit of a forewarning sometimes. And
sometimes?
I'm just kidding.
Wow.
And I looked at it, and between January 1st and January 9th, okay, so 9 days, I've watched 38 games.
January 1st, January 9th. Okay.
So and typically, the biggest days, obviously, are Saturday and Sunday. That's when the most where you can hit most of the leagues. And the way that the committee works as far as games, we have to record every game that we watch. I have 7 leagues that I'm responsible for, either as a primary or a secondary. But then obviously you're also responsible for making sure that you can do the top 25 and specifically the top 16. Because we are doing reveals. I don't know if all that, the dates have been announced and all that. But so you have to know, the teams that you're looking at and being able to compare them, especially because we're doing them pretty early, in my opinion. So I have to watch all of those as well. The good news is that the way technology is and the streaming and synergy, all the things that I have access to everything. So it's a lot of fun. And I like watching them.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see a lot of good basketball. So I don't know how to do it per day because I don't think that it averages out per day. But in the first 9 days of January, I've watched 38 games. I will be honest, I did not watch any last night.
And the average game is about 2 hours.
Yeah, about.
A little less, I guess, because you're not watching 45. All the commercial breaks.
If I'm watching it live, I am.
You
but
are.
If I'm watching on Synergy, no, I'm not.
So, hour 45, 38 of them. It's a significant amount.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time all is said and done, whew. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
It's a lot of basketball.
I just needed to know.
Yeah.
Spring sports are gearing up. And highlighting a few of the seasons that are about to start. I mentioned that we just talked with Chelsea Hoffman. I'm excited to see Oregon lacrosse. New staff that you heard about yesterday. If you missed it, you can go back, watch yesterday's show, or subscribe to the Oregon Sports Network podcast. Always have it on demand for you. Chelsea's excited. I could just tell that Coach Hoffman's raring to go, and fun to be back out there. And I wanted to ask you too, Lisa. I mean, some returners on that team, and I think about a Lillian Stump, for example. That's a name that I think Oregon fans, you're just going to need to know because she's gonna be a leader in more ways than one.
And she has been since she came on campus. She's been involved in SAC and all the other stuff outside of it. She's actually working with campus on a project around the World Championships.
Cool.
So she does all of the things outside of it as well. But on the lacrosse field, I know that Coach couldn't be more happy. I mean, we talk all the time about what it's like having a leader. And I think I heard Coach Lanning say last night that was a team full of leaders, right? And look what can happen when you have that. And so, just really excited about that. And I know Chelsea, there was a lot of student athletes that didn't feel safe during COVID. So there was a lot of opt-outs. They obviously didn't get the season in 2020. So just really excited for, I'm air quote normal, because again, I don't think that we know what normal looks like, but just really excited for her and that program to be able to get out there and show what they can do.
Softball season's almost here too.
And Coach Lombardi's excited. I can tell you that. She's got pretty deep pitching staff. She's got options. And I know that we've got a lot of new faces that are coming in, but some old ones that are back too. And so it's going to be really exciting for that program. And again, you look at our spring sports. I mean, you got to be excited about baseball. How do you not get excited? Track and field, I mean, we're Oregon. Acrobatics and tumbling, we're hosting the national championship this year. Beach volleyball, we have a new head coach, and all the excitement around that. The tennises, the golfs. I mean, like it's. So when you asked me about 2022, like I honestly do get excited about what we can see, and it's not for us, and it's not it's for them, like what they get to experience and do all of those things. So just really looking forward to it.
So I still have a big section for you.
Okay.
Can I sneak a timeout in?
Of course.
I usually don't keep you guys for more than 2 segments, and I feel
good,
bad.
Joey.
But we talked about yellow Walkmans for
we did
a long time. Sport Walkmans. Sorry. That was probably really important.
It was important. I don't slight that.
Like a $30 difference, I bet.
I'm sure. I mean, I'd use all my babysitting money to get it.
This is the important stuff. Lisa Peterson's going to stick around with us a little bit longer. I do want to talk about Title IX and the 50th anniversary coming up. That's next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
All right, you know how normally they would say like bonus baseball, overtime, things like that. Lisa Peterson staying with us for a bonus segment.
Well, thanks, Joey, for having me. I feel really great about it.
No, this has been a lot of fun. I didn't realize that we were going to take so many left turns, but this is what happens. You know, it's funny. I anticipate the left turns with HJ.
Yeah.
I for some reason don't anticipate the left turns with you, and I think you may have overtaken HJ for the amount of left turns.
Wow. I mean, anytime I can beat HJ, it's a good day.
But the thing is, HJ comes in like with a few that he knows he's going to bring up.
Yeah.
Like
ours is natural.
Yeah.
Ours is just natural left.
So HJ.
Yeah. I'm sure you're listening.
Accepted. I think he's on next week, actually.
Oh, okay,
I might have
great.
just dug my own grave on that one.
There you go.
Anyway, women in flight and Title IX.
Yes.
Two things that are very much linked in support of women's athletics. I think that this is going to be a cool year for a lot of reasons, but one is in June, the 50th anniversary of Title IX will be occurring. You know, Lisa, I'm kind of curious just your perspective on Title IX, the growth, and of course, I full disclosure, just tune into the show on Thursday That's all.
That's
I
not
can,
even a subtle hint.
Yeah,
that's just
that's
a
really
flat
all
out.
I can say.
Yeah.
But there's gonna, I tell people who's gonna be on the show on Thursday.
Yeah.
Alexis Cross, director of Women in Flight, is gonna be on the show on Thursday. And I got permission that we could quote tease this.
Yes.
And you happen to be scheduled today already.
I did. Yeah.
I wish I could say that was planned. It was not. Sorry.
No.
But this is a cool thing that is coming, and I want to just kind of give you the open floor for what's going to be announced and some of the cool things, fans, that you can look forward to. But then also the importance of this, too, goes beyond what's coming at Oregon locally, because the 50th anniversary of Title IX is a really important deal, in my opinion. I don't know, your perspective.
Well, yes, the 50th anniversary is a really big deal, and I don't want to give anything away because I don't want Alexis to be hunting me down.
100%.
But I will just say that what I appreciate the most is how we as a department take all of these things very seriously and recognize the impact and the positive that have come from something like Title IX, and we embrace it and we celebrate it and we do all of those things. And so, I think Women in Flight is a true testament of that. But I think that what we're going to do just also shows that we don't just talk the talk, that we walk the walk. So hopefully everybody will tune in and get as excited as we are about all of that. But as far as Title IX goes, as a former female student athlete who I credit every experience that I've had to being in sport and having those opportunities to that, that's what it provided, was opportunity. And if you think back, and there is no better person at a place like Oregon, like Becky Sicily, what she did in all of the different roles that she had in this department. She changed the trajectory of women's athletics forever. And the fact that she's still around and we still get to celebrate her and she's still cheering in the stands at the events, like that, we can't take that for granted. And I know that she's told a lot of stories about what's happened and what it used to be like. And I'm starting to fall into that category of what it used to be like, because things are definitely different now than what they were when I was a student athlete. But she had to do all the battling, and fighting for all of that stuff, and the folks in her era, and the impact that she had is tremendous. And there's a long list of females who have gone through this department that have had that, but I feel like she's the leader in that. And so I'm just really glad that we get to celebrate and recognize, and because I think that student athletes forget that it wasn't always this way. And I would also say that I don't know that everywhere it's always as equal for the female side, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why I've worked with Rob for so long, is that's what it's, I don't have to fight for that. Like that's his vision, and that's, what he supports. And so, that's important. And just, my opinion is that sport and going through sports, whatever level that you're at, it really does teach you what life is like, because you go through the adversity, you go through the high highs and the low lows, and you have the diverse people that you're working with, and maybe your opinions aren't the exact same, but you're all fighting for the same end result. And how you go about that and the people that impact that, like, I think that's life. And what we do in sport, it's not just about the wins and losses. It's all of those experiences. And so for me, sport is really important. And being able to have the opportunities for females to have those same experiences, there isn't a word big enough to describe how I feel about that.
And I think it goes beyond sports. We're in, a sports context in this conversation, but as the U.S. Department of Education, right? Then that was where it all came from. Like, this goes so much beyond sports, but I think that Title IX often gets discussed in sports because it really did change and open so many doors historically.
Exactly. You're right. It's about being able to get an education. It's about being able to see females in the roles that they're in now, which traditionally were only males. And, there will be a female president one day, and you see females entering into the men's side of sports, or in what it's seen as traditional, C-suite executives. Like, those are females, and being able to do that, your gender doesn't define that anymore. And I love that there aren't glass ceilings anymore, and that little girls get to see people that look like them doing those things where that hasn't always been the case. And so that's what's really exciting about it. And again, it's all about opportunity and then what you can do with that opportunity. And I feel like, we're taking advantage of that.
Something that was really lasting for me and on this subject is we had a son of a athletic trainer here at Oregon, the Halseth family.
Okay.
Dressed up as Sabrina Ionescu for Halloween.
Right.
That, to me, was such a powerful thing. And I think that it was just one story, and particularly with that group, as we're talking women's basketball here right now, with that group, they were so across sports, that transcended sports. It transcended a lot of things. And I think about that a lot now.
Absolutely.
Like, man, that was a powerful, powerful thing. And that's just one story about all this. And I hope that more stories like that, and how we don't look at it as a difference maybe as much as we used to, and we shouldn't. I hope that the 50th anniversary we get more of those kinds of stories.
Absolutely. No, it's exciting. And I mean, Sabrina's that kind of individual that she doesn't see anything that she can't do, and people see that. And so, no, you're right. And yeah, you can look now in the stands, how many men, boys are wearing Sabrina Ionescu jerseys in anything. So. And
that's how it should be.
Right. And then we've got the Sarah Goodrums who are now in Major League Baseball. Like, it's awesome. At some point,
we just had the first female manager of a minor league baseball team get announced.
But at some point, Joey, we're not going to be able to keep up with all the firsts because it's going to just be commonplace, right? And that's what I look forward to.
I remember talking to Sarah Goodrum about that.
Yeah.
And I think, I think we're getting there.
Right.
But work to be done.
Absolutely.
And I love it. So, in other words, tune in Thursday.
Yes. Yeah. Highly recommend.
There's good things to come. Lisa Peterson, I kept you a lot longer than I said I would.
I appreciate it.
I really appreciate your time, your insight,
Always.
And here's to another 38 games.
This week.
In the first 9 days.
9 days. So I got a few.
Like 30 games a week. I mean, that's.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of really good games that were happening, so I don't know that it'll be. But yeah, it's a lot.
That's 60 hours roughly a week.
Yeah.
That's my estimate as we've been talking about this for a selection committee member. And
there you go. Wow. It's fun, though. It's fun.
Wow.
Appreciate
Tobias
you, Joey.
says that he wears his Sabrina jersey to football games.
Thank you, Tobias.
Absolutely.
Is he the one that's going to owe me the $5 that I'm going to owe the $5?
Probably,
okay.
Yes.
All right. We'll get his information. We'll work on it.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys. I
Lisa
appreciate
Peterson,
you.
Deputy Athletic Director, Senior Women's Administrator. When we come back, men's basketball, they won last night. They found a way, and they beat the Beavs. We're back after this talking men's basketball on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, you can't stop a new 2022 Toyota. No matter the weather, the Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. Snowy hills don't stand a chance against the RAV4, and everyone's comfy in the Highlander. See you in the snow. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Dear winter, you can't stop a new 2022 Toyota. No matter the weather, the Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. Snowy hills don't stand a chance against the RAV4, and everyone's comfy in the Highlander. See you in the snow. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too. Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too. Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
Back on Hug Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack at the Country Financial Studio. I saw a comment, from Tobiah. Do you know of any app that allows you to listen to 95.3 The Score live? So 95.3 The Score is our affiliate here in Eugene on the Oregon Sports Network. I think 95.3 The Score has an app. To be honest, I don't know for sure, but I think that they have an app. I also saw, this was fun. Kylie said doozy in the comments. I think that was just referring to the doozy of a win at Oregon State last night. That's exactly what it was. I don't know if I spelled doozy right. Is it D-O-O-Z-Y? Because Kylie spelled it that way. I spelled it that way in the show description today. I think that's how you spell doozy. Should I have looked this up before we went on the air? It really was a doozy of a game, though. Oregon with a 78-76 win over Oregon State. A very back-and-forth game. Largest lead for the Beavs was 4 points. Largest lead for the Ducks was 9 points. Neither team had a longer run than 6-0. It was an impressive win for the Ducks, though, for a few different reasons. One, Jacob Young really turned it on offensively. Really turned it on. Dante, double-double. Eric Williams, double-double. Got to hit free throws, though, and got to make more second-chance points, because listen to this statistic. The Ducks had 17 offensive rebounds compared to 6 for the Beavers. The Beavs had 10 second-chance points, and the Ducks had 8. You don't see that statistic very often, and I said as much to Coach Altman. But, hey, anytime you get a chance to go nuts because the Ducks win at Gill Coliseum, well, it's a good time. Eric Williams Jr. was absolutely clutch in this game. The rebounds were important, but the three-pointer that he hit when it was tied at 74 and the crowd was really into it for the Beavs, well, this was a fun one. Harmon's got it, spins at the free throw line. Passes to the perimeter, Williams for three. Got it! Eric Williams from the right wing nails it! He really did nail it, didn't he? I mean, that was about as pure of a shot as you're going to get. And Williams coming off the bench for 14 points, 3 of 6 from 3, and 11 rebounds. Absolutely great performance. And they're going to need that from Eric Williams, I think, the rest of the year. Because, man, do they need to hit free throws. So they're going to have to find a way. If they're not going to be hitting free throws, they got to find a way to win, and they did that. Ducks were 8 for 18 and had a few missed front ends of 1-and-1s, which Coach Altman, in their own tracking of free throw statistics, Coach actually counts that as an 0 for 2. If you miss the front end of a 1-and-1 in the Duck book, that goes down as 0 for 2, not just 0 for 1 at the line, which it should, because you don't earn the right to shoot the second free throw, so it really counts as a miss. Positive step out of a big road trip for the Ducks. They didn't get to practice much. Got a chance to catch up with Coach Altman post-game, and, well, you could tell there was some relief in his voice. Ducks needed to find a way to win, but they know there's some pressure now heading into 2 top 10 teams on the road against UCLA and USC this week. Coach Altman, I talked with him last night. Oregon getting it done, and, Coach, that was just a whale of a basketball game. What are your takeaways?
Well, we're going to have to hit some free throws at some point in time. 8 for 18, I think 1 or 2 were front ends, so really poor night. We could have put that thing away a lot easier. But no, the guys, I thought our movement offensively was good. Eric came to play, which gave us a big lift. That was the difference in the game. He came to play tonight and really made a huge difference. So thought he played good with the double-double. Dante rebounded well, 12 points, 11 boards. So, if you didn't, the 3 turnovers, he's got to cut those turnovers down. You got to play with more aggressiveness, grab that ball, and keep it high. But, it's a win. And, gosh darn, we needed one. So, no matter how we got it, we'll take it. We got to put a lot of things together defensively. I like our ball movement. We're doing a better job there. We're starting to get it connected offensively a little bit. But, man, our defense has just got to get better. We're making too many mistakes and just not tough enough, and we can get better. That's the great thing. And we didn't have time to practice this week. We just had a bad week. We didn't have anybody at practice. Had some Saturday, some Sunday. Will didn't practice at all. So, we had a bad week. We didn't get better defensively, but, finding a way to win was really good. And now we got a real tough road game, coming up.
They shoot 53%, Coach, but 13% from three. I think that ended up being a big difference in the game.
I thought it was a big thing, and they only got 6 offensive rebounds. We had 17. Now, we didn't make them pay. We had 17 offensive rebounds, got 8 points, and they had
see stats like that very
6,
often.
and they had 10. So but it was the effort. I just liked the effort. We didn't make them pay for all those offensive rebounds, but our effort was really, really good there.
Overall, plus 10 on the boards. Were you happy there?
Yeah,
too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys were fighting, scratching, finding a way to get extra possessions, and like I said, it wasn't smooth. It wasn't at times what we wanted. We had, I don't know what, Jacob was trying to kill me on that one turnover. We just threw a lob or out of bounds. We just had some plays like that where I have no idea what we were trying to do. So. But we can get better, and we got to keep grinding, get better. We got, like I said, a real tough road trip, but, we needed to find a way to get this one, and the guys did a good job.
All right, Coach. Well, I'll let you go, and we'll see you on the plane down to Los Angeles. Huh?
All righty. Take care.
Plane to Los Angeles tomorrow. Ducks are going to now travel to take on UCLA and USC. Full preview of that coming up a little bit more tomorrow and on Tip-Off Tuesday, this afternoon and this evening. GoDucks.com/OSN for where you can tune in for Tip-Off Tuesday. Terry and I will be live 2:30 to 3:30 for those of you live with us here in the 1 o'clock hour on the Oregon men's basketball, women's basketball Facebook pages and the GoDucks YouTube as well. It's a big trip, though, for the Ducks. A 6:30 pregame, 6 o'clock pregame and a 6:30 tip-off for Oregon against UCLA on Thursday. Going to be the big-time ESPN game. I hear Dave Pasch and Bill Walton are going to be in town. I'm ready. I am ready. When we come back, let's talk about that national championship last night, Kayvon Thibodeau, and also your inside look at what an expanded college football playoff could look like. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Back on Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. National Championship last night. Great game. I'll be honest, I've watched all of 5 minutes of it because we had our basketball game last night. But congratulations to Coach Lanning, a national champion, defensive coordinator for Georgia, now the head coach for the Ducks. And he's getting ready for all the National Signing Day events. And you can go to GoDucks.com, see a little bit more about some of those Signing Day events coming up. We got more details coming for the first Wednesday in February, though. Congratulations to Dan Lanning. Now let's go get another one for Dan Lanning, but as the head coach here in Eugene. That would be fun. Kayvon Thibodeau joined the Fox show that was on as kind of like a second screen experience, my understanding. I've watched a little bit of it. But KT had just an absolutely awesome message, and it says a lot about the man that he is, and I think the man that he is going to be moving forward. I absolutely loved Kayvon Thibodeau. He was on with Joe Klatt, and, well, here's just a little clip of what you heard from the man KT.
Me being in this position, and it's so crazy just like being on, having this recording, being in this session. I always wanted to be on TV. But I just shared a moment of mine where I realized that, I wanted to be a part of the journalism world or a part of TV. When I was in 5th grade, I had a camera class. And this class, it wasn't a class offered by the school, but because I was my 5th grade president and I was like an overachiever in school, my school basically put me in this program that was about cameras. And we would all take pictures, and and they would teach us about how to take pictures and do things like that. And I remember the only real assignment we had was an auction. And the auction was for us to use objects or whatever to create an image and to take a picture of it and create a portrait and to auction that off and just see what it's worth. And it was auctioned to the teachers and local parents, whatever. But a teacher of mine had bought my photo for $50. And my photo was of an apple on the floor and my shadow eating the apple, right? But I tell this story to say that I was only able to find out what I really loved because of the resources and the access that I had. So my whole mission, and the reason I want to be here today, I wanted to be, and I was excited to be here, was to inspire a lot of athletes and a lot of kids that you don't have to be the norm. Even though you do have a talent, you don't have to be what everyone wants you to be. You know what I mean? You can grow and you can learn, but you have to go find it. You have to seek it. I was blessed where it was given to me, but everybody doesn't have the opportunity. So you got to be proactive and not react.
What an awesome message from Kayvon Thibodeau. That was part of his appearance on the Fox Tailgate show. And you probably saw it. Maybe you saw it on the Oregon football social media today. But I wanted to play that. What an awesome statement from a guy who I hope has just an outstanding NFL and then broadcasting career. I think Kayvon Thibodeau's got a very bright future ahead of him. Ducks check in at number 22, in the final top 25 of the season. I think they're going to be higher than that next year, end of the year. Meanwhile, also yesterday, the Pac-12 did release a statement on college football expansion. It's our Inside Look brought to you by Oregon Imaging Centers, a proud sponsor of Oregon Athletics. Choose Oregon Imaging Centers. The choice is yours. Pac-12 saying, quote, strongly in favor of college football playoff expansion. The Pac-12 supports all 6 of the most discussed expansion models that would allow for expansion to occur in time for the final 2 years of the current CFP agreement. Qualification of the best 12 teams, there's a lot of different ideas, like an automatic qualifier for the highest-rated conference champions, maybe an automatic qualifier for a group of 5 team, maybe an automatic qualifier for 2 group of 5 teams. Either way, the Pac-12 statement says this. It's your Inside Look. We want to expand the playoff. All right, then. See you tomorrow.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents.